Welcome back from the assessment, the little quiz you took. And I believe you were all able to participate in the quiz. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
May I know if there is anything you would like to share with us concerning your experience in the quiz? Was everything smooth?
It was okay, sir.
Okay. All right. So once again, you're welcome back from the short break we had. We are here to continue with our discussion on technical communication skills. So quickly, I would like us to remind ourselves of what we talked about the last time we had a class. I remember we considered the types of paragraph and specifically looking at the introductory paragraph. So if you can quickly remind us of what we said concerning the introductory paragraph, then we can quickly look at the concluding paragraph. Then finally, we look at the body paragraph or the development. So on the introductory paragraph, what do you have to say? What can you remind us of the introductory paragraph? Just a moment, I'll be with you. So think about it. I'll be back in a minute or two for us to take your feedback.
Okay, sir.
Up in the manner described by the doctor. It is therefore my very painful but bounden duty to direct you that the accused one's
All right, so we can continue the discussion now. I believe you can hear some sound in the background. I don't have power, so I'm relying on a generator. So don't be worried that you could hear the generator sound in the background. All right, any response? Hello?
Yes, sir. We are here, sir.
Yes, I need a reminder on the introductory paragraph. If you can remind us of what you learned, what you remember concerning our discussion 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Okay, I may say a good introductory paragraph gives the audience or the reader more interest to read.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see.
Okay, so that is one of the key points, that the introductory paragraph should attract the reader's attention and also sustain that attention. Right. So a very strong point. There are other points, but let's digest this point before we go to look at others. So what can you do to make your introductory paragraph attract the reader's attention? I believe we had a discussion on all of that. Well, because if we don't remember, then it becomes impossible to apply, right? We first of all have to understand some of these principles. We should remember them, and we should also be in a position to apply them. So application is the highest level, but if you don't remember, then you don't have any chance of applying. I hope we understand.
Yes, sir.
So we should make our introduction attractive to the reader's attention. First, we considered the thesis statement, which is the controlling idea of the essay and which appears at the latter part of the introductory paragraph, right? And we said the thesis statement should be controversial. It shouldn't be a fact. If it's controversial, then people would want to read to find out why you are making such a controversial statement on a subject or a topic. That is one of the ways by which you can make your introductory paragraph attractive to your audience. Another is choosing the appropriate introductory methods. We identify provision of background information as one of the methods. You can ask a series of questions, right? The questions will draw the reader's attention to certain things, will let the reader begin to think about what lies ahead. Right? So questions get readers' attention. So a series of questions. You can use a contrary view of what you are going to say about the subject, and so on and so forth. So using the appropriate introductory method is also helpful, right? Appropriate use of language so that there is clarity right from the introduction. If you pick a book and you read the first 2 or 3 sentences, and due to error use of language, you are unable to tell what specifically, what exactly is meant, I don't think you pay much attention or you'll be attracted to such a text. In terms of appropriate use of language, we also talk about diction, appropriate choice of words. So if the language is too difficult for your reader, the reader may not have attention. If it is also too simple for the reader may also not be interested in reading. So you have to know your audience, the target audience, and write to meet the expectations, right? So these are some of the things you could rely on in order to make your introductory paragraph attractive to your audience. So that is just one point. Any other principles, any other things that you remember about the introductory paragraph? Mm-hmm. Hello? Everybody is quiet. Okay, so let me show the slides of the introductory paragraph. All right. So this is what we looked at, right? Can somebody read for us quickly? Read everything we have here for us to remind us of what we looked at, then we can make progress. Anybody to read? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Or I should mention names.
I was talking before my network interrupted. Sorry.
Hello, sir.
Hello, I can hear you. Rogers, you want to read for us? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, please. Yeah, we
Yes,
can
we
hear you.
can hear you.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
I need somebody just to read what I'm showing.
Okay, so I'm reading.
Okay.
Paragraph types. Introductory paragraph. This is what sets the stage and prepares the reader or audience for what follows. It must therefore catch the attention of the reader or audience, reveal the central or controlling idea, that is, thesis statement, and connect or relate clearly to the rest of the essay.
Go ahead.
A good introductory paragraph, therefore, attracts the reader's or audience attention and interest and gives encouragement for continuous reading or listening. Supplies any background information that is necessary for the essay to be understood. 3. Presents a thesis statement, a clear, direct statement of the main idea of the paper, which usually appears at the end of the introductory paragraph. 4. Provides a plan of the development, which is optional.
You can go ahead.
Methods of introduction. 1. Beginning with a general statement of the topic and narrowing it down to your thesis.
Okay.
2. Supplying background information.
Wait a little. So we have looked at what should appear in the introductory paragraph, right? What we just read. Being attractive, supplying background information, presenting thesis statement, and providing a plan of the development. So in order to achieve that, we have the methods. So after each point, I would like somebody to explain what the method entails. So the first method, you can go ahead. You can continue reading for us.
Okay, the first method is beginning with a general statement of the topic and narrowing it down to your thesis.
What do you understand by that method? This is an overview of what we did. So I need you to respond quickly so that we can look at other things. I want to be sure that we understand the course. We understand what we are doing. So beginning with the general statement of the topic and narrowing it down to your thesis. What does this entail? Hello, everyone.
Hello, sir.
Nobody.
Please, let me try.
Okay.
I am thinking you can start with minor and then major supporting sentences. Then it draw down to the main sentence or the main topic.
Not really. But let's take other responses. I need everybody to say something. So if nobody is speaking, I'll be calling names.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead.
Moving from probably
That
general.
That is Salifu or?
Yeah, Safiu.
Safiu, okay, Abbas, okay. Go ahead.
So basically moving from general to a specific point. Instead of generalizing, you move from the general statement to the more specific point.
Okay, so can you give us an example?
Okay. You could, let's say, when you are talking about the case of policemen being corrupt, then you then narrow it down to what happened last week at the Tesano police station, probably that.
Okay. I don't know what happened at Tesano police station. I am hearing it for the first time. But you are saying that if you want to say policemen are corrupt, for instance, you're writing on the police, and what you want to say is that policemen are corrupt. Am I right?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Or you are writing about Tesano police station?
No, policemen in general, but then narrowing it down to Tesano police station.
If you're narrowing it down to Tesano police station, then what you're going to say will be about Tesano police station. And for that matter, your specific topic is Tesano police station, not police in general, not corruption in general. Is that what you mean?
Yes, please.
But that would be a bit difficult. Anyway, let's hear from others before I give my comment. Any other person? Safiu has contributed. I have about, I think, almost 60 of you. Okay, go ahead. You tell us your name.
So I'm David.
Okay. Go ahead, David.
Yeah. So beginning with a general statement of the topic and then narrow it down, I will classify it as you start it broad, then become specific. So an example is education play a vital role in society.
Mhm.
However, to access a quality education, it will remain a big challenge, for instance, in Ghana here
Mhm.
or in many countries.
Mhm. Okay. I think you have the idea, but we may want to polish it a little. So if we're talking about the general statement of the topic to the specific, from general to specific, we also call it the funnel method of introduction, right? With the funnel, the top is huge and the base is not so huge. I hope we know the funnel, right? So just as you said, you begin from the general and then you go to the specific. So in this case, we look at the subject or the topic, not just a sentence you are making or a statement you are making, but you are looking at the subject or the topic. Your topic could be broad, it could be narrow, right? And so on. So if you have a broad topic, you narrow it. If you have a narrow topic, you can broaden it, right? So if you are talking about education, your specific topic could be secondary education. Maybe you are writing on secondary education in Ghana. But then you can begin your introduction by talking about education generally. Talking about education generally will be making a statement on education generally. So education plays, for instance, education plays a key role in the life of citizens of every country. And for that matter, governments of various countries have placed premium on education, devoting greater parts of their budget to sponsor education. There have been programs to ensure that citizens of a country get the needed education as much as possible. There is, we can mention girl child education, non-formal education programs, and so on. However, an aspect of education that needs special attention is secondary education. And in Ghana, secondary education, you get the example I am giving.
Yes, please.
Right. So you start broadly, you start from the general, then gradually you come to the specific. I mentioned that it is secondary education in Ghana that I want to talk about, but I started by talking about education generally, education in the whole world, what various countries, various governments are doing to sponsor education. But then gradually you narrow it down to the Ghanaian situation and then secondary education. So that is an example. Let us go to see the example here. I think we showed, or we looked at this example. Bookstore shelves today are crammed with dozens of different diet books. The Canadian public seems willing to try any sort of diet, especially the ones that promise instant miraculous results. And authors are more than willing to invent new fad diets to cash in on this craze. Unfortunately, some of these fad diets are ineffective or even unsafe. One of the worst fad diets is the zone diet. It is expensive, doesn't achieve the results it claims, and is a sure route to poor nutrition, right? So if you look at this one, you realize that the specific topic is the zone diet, the zone diet. And the statement that has been made about the zone diet is that it is one of the worst fat diets. So the specific topic is the zone diet. And the thesis statement, that is the statement that has been made about it, is that it is one of the worst fat diets. But look at how the introductory paragraph started, or how it starts. It starts by talking about bookstore shelves being filled or crammed with different books on diets. Right? So books on diet, in other words, talking about diets in general. Right? Then gradually comes down to the diets that promise instant miraculous results, the fat diets. Then go to the zone diet, being one of the examples of the fat diets. I'm sure this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is what we should remember. It is a skill, and you have to develop the skill in order to write introductory paragraphs using such methods. Right. So remember that you can write your introductory paragraph by looking at the broad area of the topic and gradually narrowing it to the specific area. Then you make your statement, the general statement on the specific topic, which becomes your thesis statement. And then you look at aspects of the thesis statement that you can develop into complete paragraphs for your body paragraphs. I'm sure you remember that we said one statement you can develop or you can extract the topic sentences of the body paragraphs from it by asking yourself why. So if the thesis statement is that the zone diet is one of the worst fat diets, then you ask yourself, why am I saying the zone diet is one of the worst fat diets? So the responses or the answers that may come up will be that it is expensive, it doesn't achieve the results it claims, and it is poor in nutrition. I hope we understand. So 3 points have come up, and each of these points could be developed into a complete body paragraph to support the statement that the zone diet is one of the worst fat diets. So if you have forgotten this, I would urge you to go back to it. Right? We have to achieve the objective we have set for ourselves. And one of them is being able to write a good introductory paragraph. So that is the first method. Supplying background information. What explanation can you give? For this method? Hello?
Hello, sir.
So we are on the second method of introduction. How do you explain it?
Hello, sir.
Go ahead.
So this is where maybe you give context so that the readers are able to understand the topic.
Very good. So you build the context, but it's not everyone here who understands what context means. So if you can break it down.
Okay. So let's say maybe you say social media has maybe changed our modes of communication and how we share information in the past 10 years. So indicating that in the past, okay, indicating that in the last decade, this is what social media has done is context. So I've added a range as context.
Okay. So that is background information providing context. Am I right?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. Context can also be what the topic or the area is known for. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in terms of supplying background information, you could provide statistical information. I think what Saifu, am I right with the name?
Safiu.
Safiu, okay. Safiu. What Safiu gave looked like statistical information. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So it provides background and context. You can also give definition, defining the subject or the topic will also let the audience know what that subject entails, what it's about, what is known about it. And that also provides the context. You can go into the history of the subject or the topic. So background information is important for the reader to understand the subject or the topic, even before looking at what has been written on that subject. Right? And there is a philosophy of meaning, which indicates that if you know nothing about what is said, then there is no way you understand what is said about it. It becomes difficult. So that is why it's very important to ensure that the reader at least understands what is being talked about, what it is, before he or she will appreciate what is said about it. So if you don't know David and somebody tells you David is a good person, maybe you understand what a good person is, but you don't know this David. How do you appreciate what is said about David? Right? But if you know David, who he is, what role he plays, and all of that, then the statement made about him becomes important to you. So that is why we provide background information. Again, we looked at an example of the MP3. The introductory paragraph describes what the MP3 is. So before you read what is said about the MP3, if you didn't know what MP3 was, you come to terms with what MP3 really is. Am I right? So we can also use this method of introduction, right? We also have beginning with an idea opposite or contrary to the one you are developing, right? So we can use this in the introduction. We can even use it in the body, and it becomes a pivoting paragraph. which we will talk about later. So we can go on and on using explanation of the importance of the topic. So telling about how important the topic is becomes your way of introducing the topic. You can also use a story, narration, or anecdote. You can ask a series of questions. You can use quotations. And you can use just one of these methods to write your introductory paragraph. You can also combine some of these methods in one introductory paragraph. So this is what we looked at last week. I don't want to go further into it, otherwise it will take a lot of our time. But there's a review of what we did last week. And at this point, I would like to find out if you have any questions, comments, or contribution before we move on. Hello?
Hello, sir. We can hear you.
All right. Is what we are looking at too difficult?
Oh, no, sir.
No, sir.
But I'm not getting a response. And if it happens like that, lecturers become worried.
It's like it's been long. We visit such a topic, that is one. But we are getting it better.
Are you sure you can apply some of these ideas, some of these principles in writing? Because
Yes, sir.
if you can't talk about it, then it's more or less impossible for you to apply it. You have to understand. You should be able to explain it. That means you understand. And for that matter, you can apply it. So I would urge you to look at this over and again. I think I have videos, I have recordings of this also available to you. Right. So keep playing it, keep looking at it, and that will help you. And you will thank me later, not now. Right.
Okay, so I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, with the third point, the opposite idea. Let's take it, for instance, I'm writing on the main topic, causes of road accidents. Can providing maybe educating the public be the opposite idea?
If you are writing on road accidents,
Yes, about causes of road accidents. Yeah.
You are writing on the causes of road accidents.
Yes, sir.
So what is going to be your main or your general statement, the thesis statement? Usually the opposite idea is to the thesis statement, an idea that is the opposite of your thesis statement. So if you can give me the thesis statement of that essay, I may be in a position to give you an opposite idea, which you can use as way of introducing the essay.
Okay, maybe something like maybe motorcycles are causing most accidents in the world.
Okay. So in other words, you're going to say that many of the accidents that occur on our roads are caused by users of motorcycle. Am I right?
Yes. Okay. Yes, sir.
So this is your thesis statement. So a contrary view of this could be the benefit, the advantage of using motorcycle.
Okay.
Right. So motorcycle usage has become common on our roads lately. Motorcycles are not so expensive compared to cars and other vehicles. They are swift in terms of going through traffic congestion and so on and so forth, right? So you are talking about the advantages of using motorcycle. Then sharply you turn to the opposite. However, motorcycle usage is causing most of the accidents we find on our road. And if you have statistical information, you can support it. You can use it to support the statement. And it will be a very beautiful introduction, very strong point. I hope you get what I mean.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is an example, right? Okay. So if you understand these methods, you can apply them to various situations. Every topic and the method that is appropriate to introduce it, right? Yeah. For some topics, such a method may not be appropriate. For some topics, this method would be perfect. So usually you look at the topic you are writing on and decide on what method of introduction would be most suitable.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir.
Hello, go ahead.
Please, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Please, do we have exact number of sentence per an introduction?
Not really. Not really. We don't have any specific number of sentences or specific number of words. But then the principles we've indicated are what we should ensure in our introductory paragraph. But usually introductory paragraph is around 6 sentences, usually for a paragraph, right? If you are writing an essay, let me say the introduction will constitute 15 to, I think 10 to 15% of the essay. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Very realistic. We can
The
hear you clearly.
the introduction should constitute from 10 to 15% of the whole essay. The conclusion should also constitute the same, from 10 to 15%. So introduction and conclusion maximum 30%, while the body, the developmental paragraphs constitute 70%. So that is the standard. So maybe that is what can guide you.
Okay,
I hope
sir.
that is clear.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Any other question or comment? All right. If we don't have any further questions or comments, let me stop sharing this. Then we quickly look at the concluding paragraph. Just one slide. We go through it quickly, then we move on. Okay, I believe you can see what I'm sharing.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that is looking at the concluding paragraph. And you realize that there isn't much that we can say about the concluding paragraph. The beginning is what is most difficult, the introductory paragraph. So we pay much attention to that. Now, in the concluding paragraph, we know it is the last part of the essay, right? And it brings all the discussion to an end. So usually in the concluding paragraph, there isn't any new topic or new point introduced. You don't introduce any new idea. Right. So the concluding paragraph contains no new material. It rather reminds the audience of the thesis idea. So the thesis idea may be restated. Restated means it could be expressed in different words, not the same as it appears in the introduction, using different words to express the same idea. That is emphasizing it. I hope we understand that.
Yes, sir.
Hello? So the thesis statement appears at the latter part of the introductory paragraph. But then in the conclusion, you can also express the same idea, emphasizing it by using different words from what was used in writing it in the introduction. Right. The conclusion also brings the paper or the essay to a natural end. Natural end here means that there should be a smooth ending. Natural ending. It means there has been enough and adequate discussion, explanation of the points, right? And then the conclusion brings everything to a natural end, which allows the reader to return to his own thoughts. So once the conclusion brings the discussion, brings the paper, brings the essay to its natural end, it allows the reader, the audience, to return to his or her own thoughts. The reader will therefore think about what has been said so far in the discussion and will draw his or her own conclusion. So in the concluding paragraph, we don't introduce any new point, right? You would like to remind the reader of the thesis idea. You would like to summarize the key points in the discussion, then bring the essay to a natural or a smooth end. So that is the concluding paragraph. And we have methods that can be used. The first method is by summarizing the key points of the discussion of the essay and giving your final thought. Your final thought will be your concluding statement. So we have the thesis statement presenting the controlling idea of the essay. And then we have aspects of the thesis statement being discussed in the various body paragraphs. So all these ideas, the thesis idea, the topic sentences, the ideas contained in the topic sentences, all of them constitute the discussion. So all of them could be summarized and then a conclusion drawn. And that could be a way of concluding the essay. I hope this is clear and you can do it. Hello? Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can also conclude your essay by asking questions. We realized that in the introduction, we can ask a series of questions. In the conclusion, too, we can ask series of questions. These are rhetorical questions whose answers are obvious. So by going through the essay, the reader or the audience already has answers to these questions. So these questions are asked to lay emphasis on the answers, the points, the key points, which are the answers to the questions. So you can ask a series of questions. We can also end with a prediction or recommendation. An example of prediction. Our brother gave us motorcycle use as the cause of a lot of accidents. So if per your discussion, your conclusion is that there should be regulation on motorcycle use, then you can predict that if such regulation is not implemented, then accidents and carnage on our roads will keep increasing. That is a prediction. You can also predict in the positive that if such regulation is implemented, very soon the number of accidents on our roads will reduce sharply. That will be a prediction, right? You can also have a recommendation, right? You recommend that there should be a regulation on motorcycle use and so on and so forth. So you can end your essay by giving a prediction or giving a recommendation. But such recommendations and predictions usually have their preambles, right? So you take note of that. You can also bring your essay to an end by referring to the opening. We said a restatement of the thesis idea, right? So that is also a method. So referring to the opening, that is re-emphasizing the central idea, not in the same words as in the introduction. So a rephrasing or restatement of the thesis statement. So those are some of the methods. We can also use transition signals, right? That indicates that you are bringing the discussion to an end. You are concluding the essay. So transitional markers or transitional signals include in summary, to conclude, therefore, consequently, and so on. You can also use quotation. You can quote a very important statement as way of ending your essay. For instance, if you are writing on the war between the USA, the USA, Israel, and Iran, then you can, for instance, quote the words of Emperor Haile Selassie. The quotation which was used in Bob Marley's song, War. I don't know if you know that statement. Hello?
Yeah,
Hello,
we
do
can
you know that?
hear you.
Do we know that quotation?
No, sir.
No, sir. Not really.
Okay. Okay. Okay, and James, you are drawing a line, so you can kindly clean it. It's a popular reggae song. It says, until the philosophy which holds one's race superior than the other, inferior, is eradicated or something like that, there will always be war. I don't know if you've heard that song before. Have you?
Yeah, I think it was sung by Bob Marley or something.
Yes, yes.
Redemption song.
So
Yeah,
it's a quotation, right? Yeah. There are other important quotations. So you can end your essay by using quotation and so on. So that is the concluding paragraph. We have talked about the concluding paragraph. It is left with the application. So how do you apply some of these principles, some of these methods? And that is the work you have to do. I hope you understand.
Yes, please.
yes, sir.
It is not easy,
It's not easy. It's not easy.
but with practice, it becomes easy.
Yes, sir.
Right? So you just have to be practicing. All right. So let me stop sharing this and we go to the body paragraphs, the developmental paragraphs. I'm sure you can also hear some giggle in the background. Hello?
No, sir, we couldn't hear
Yes,
anything.
sir.
Oh, okay. My little boy is misbehaving around. So if you hear any giggle and all of that, you forgive me.
That's okay.
All right, so we come to the developmental paragraph. I'm sure by now you can picture how an essay is written. So you have your subject or your topic, and you have an opinion, a view you can express on that topic or subject. You remember we said a topic or subject is anything you can say something about, usually a word or a phrase. Right? So our friend indicated that motorcycle is causing a lot of accidents. So the topic or subject is motorcycle. If you like, you can say accidents. So in that case, accidents are often caused by motorcycle users. That could also be another angle from which you can look at it. So once you have your topic or subject, you can make your statement on it. You can make your statement on it. And once you make your statement, you have the responsibility to validate, authenticate, defend, and so on that opinion that statement. So you have to provide evidence. You have to provide support to make it valid. And the support will come from the developmental paragraphs. The developmental paragraphs have topic sentences, topic discussion, and sometimes topic closure or summary sentence. I'm sure you remember paragraph elements we looked at earlier, and we indicated that such paragraph elements particularly refer to the body or developmental paragraphs. I'm sure you remember. Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we said that the developmental paragraphs explain, they illustrate, they discuss or prove the thesis statement which is given in the introductory paragraph. So each developmental paragraph or body paragraph discusses an aspect of the thesis statement, if you like, the main topic expressed in the thesis statement. I hope this is clear.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. So that is what the body paragraphs do. Each body paragraph does something or presents something to develop or discuss an aspect of the thesis statement. So you have your introductory paragraph that has the thesis statement appearing at the latter part. Then each body paragraph discusses an aspect of that thesis statement to make it valid, to make it authentic, so that the reader will accept what statement has been made about the topic. The reader will agree with the writer. The reader will be convinced by what the writer is saying. So we have various methods we use in developing the topic sentences that have been extracted from the thesis statement. So how do you extract the topic sentence from the thesis statement? I indicated you ask yourself why. So if you have your topic or subject as Ghana, and you make a statement like, the statement you are making about Ghana is that Ghana is the most promising country in Africa. Then to extract your topic sentences from this thesis statement, you ask yourself why. So why will bring out all the points that support the statement, the opinion, the view you are expressing on Ghana. I hope that is clear.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So if one of the reasons for which you're saying Ghana is the most promising country in Africa is that Ghana is peaceful. So Ghana is peaceful becomes one of the topic sentences extracted from the thesis statement. Then you can use explanation or reason to develop this point into a complete paragraph. So if you're saying Ghana is peaceful, that is why it is the most promising country in Africa. How do you explain that Ghana is peaceful? What reasons do you give for this point that Ghana is peaceful? I'm sure we can do that. So in terms of explanation or reason as a method, the topic sentence is developed into a paragraph by giving reasons that explain the topic sentence. And usually when this method is used, you find transitional devices like addition, those that show addition. So you have transitional devices that indicate addition. And they include also, in addition, furthermore, finally, etc. But we have to remember that it is not only this method that makes use of addition, transitional markers or devices. So we can use explanation or reason as a method of development, method of developing a topic sentence into a complete paragraph. Any question here? All right. Apart from explanation or reason, we can also use time relation. Time relation means we're talking about something in relation to time. And usually this is when something involves process. Something involves chronology. Chronology has to do with time order, arrangement of things according to time order, and so on. So the method of time relation is used in narrating, telling or recounting a story or an event. So if you're telling a story, if you're giving an account of something, you can use time relation as a method. And this is where it is necessary to have time order relationship. That is chronological arrangement of things. And this means that events are presented in chronological order, the order in which events occur with reference to time. So you have time order relations, transitional devices such as then, later, after, before. So if you're reading a text and you find such transitional markers within a particular paragraph, the paragraph may be using time order relationship. We also have contrast, opposite. Just as we indicated, you can use contrast or opposite idea, opposing view to introduce your essay, that is writing the introduction. We can also use the same method to develop a topic sentence into a complete paragraph. So in such paragraphs, you have transitional markers that indicate contrast. For instance, instead, yet, or yet still, in spite of, although, while, etc. So in using contrast as a method of development, the difference or distinctions between two or more items are presented or discussed. So the difference between two or more items is presented. Such paragraph usually has transitional devices that indicate a change in the writer's direction of thought. So that is contrast. We also have comparison. When you draw attention to the similarity between two or more items, So with comparison as a method of development, a paragraph or an essay concentrates on how similar two or more items are. The transitional devices used include similarly, equally, just as, or like, or just like, likewise, like, and so on. So when you read any paragraph and you find such transitional markers, it is likely the paragraph is using comparison as a method of development. Then we have illustrations and examples, right? That is when you provide examples or evidence as way of proving or justifying a claim. So transitional devices that are used include, for instance, including, to illustrate, for example, in other words, and so on. So if I'm writing on the idea that Ghana is the most promising country in Africa, maybe I can say Ghana has a lot of natural resources, right? And in developing that, I can mention that Ghana has gold, or let me give just one of the natural resources. Ghana has important rivers, right? We can talk about the River Volta, which provides electricity to the citizens, serving as a major irrigation provider and all of that, right? So this is an example of the important rivers. This is an illustration, right? So you can use illustrations and examples as method of development. Cause and effect, right? So you can talk about the cause and effect of something. With cause and effect as method of development, events or actions are described or discussed by emphasizing what caused them. So what caused the event, right? So that would be the cause and effect. And transitional devices used include hence, thus, since, because, consequently, as a result, and so on. So these are some of the methods of development, right? We also talk about process as a method of development. And process as a method of development uses transitional devices similar to that of time relation. So process as a method of development explains, discusses, or provides the steps or stages that are involved in doing something, right? It is a common method for expository writing. So for instance, if you are writing and in one paragraph, you want to explain how to convert a video to MP3, that will be a process. You follow a process, right? So we can have process as a method. These are the methods of development. So I can give you a paragraph and ask you to determine the method that has been used in developing it, just as we did with the introductory paragraphs. By looking at the topic sentence, the main idea of the paragraph, by looking at the supporting sentence that have been given and how they've been presented, looking at the transitional markers used, you will be able to tell the method of development used. Any questions or comments? Hello?
Hello, sir. We are here following, sir.
Do we have any questions or comments? All right.
No questions for now, sir.
Okay. If we don't have any questions, I stop sharing. I go to the next slide. Just introduce it and ask you to go to read more, to investigate more about some of the things. So we've talked about developmental paragraphs and their methods. Apart from the methods, the developmental paragraphs may also have patterns. Patterns. So we have paragraph patterns. This refers to the developmental or body paragraph. And the pattern used in a paragraph is determined by the position of the topic sentence. So it is the topic sentence that indicates the pattern used in the paragraph. And depending on the position of the topic sentence, we can have any of these patterns. The first pattern is the direct pattern. You remember that the topic sentence can take any position in the paragraph. It can be the first sentence, it can be the last sentence, it can also appear in the middle of the paragraph. Irrespective of where it appears, it is able to control all the other sentences in the paragraph because it presents the main idea of the paragraph. So the topic sentence that are appearing at the beginning of the paragraph, appearing as the first sentence of the paragraph, gives the direct paragraph pattern. Direct paragraph pattern. So with the direct paragraph pattern, the topic sentence comes at the beginning and it is followed by the supporting sentences. We also have the pivoting paragraph pattern. In the pivoting paragraph pattern, the topic sentence appears after a contrary view, a contrary idea, an opposite idea of the topic sentence. So the pivoting paragraph pattern has the topic sentence delayed. And the beginning is usually a contrary view of the topic sentence. I hope we understand all these. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are following, sir.
Yes, sir, we are following, sir.
All right. Then we have the emphatic paragraph pattern. The emphatic paragraph. Emphatic comes from emphasis. And if something is being emphasized, usually it is repeated. So in the emphatic paragraph, the topic sentence, which is the most important item, appears more than once within the paragraph. It is repeated. It can be the first sentence, and it can be repeated in different words at any part of the paragraph. So it can be the first sentence, and it can be the last sentence. It can be the first sentence, and it can also appear in the middle. So if you have a paragraph in which the topic sentence appears more than once, it means the topic sentence is being emphasized, and therefore we have the paragraph pattern, the emphatic paragraph pattern. We also have the implied paragraph pattern. In the implied paragraph pattern, the topic sentence is not explicitly stated. The main idea of the paragraph is not explicitly stated in any sentence, right? In other words, the topic sentence is not overt. It means you have to read all the sentences within the paragraph in order to ascertain what main idea is being presented. So if you have a paragraph like, for Kofi, he hardly attends lectures. And even when he attends, he doesn't stay throughout the lecture period. Sometimes he would be chatting with his friends on social media. Sometimes he would be watching movie while lectures are ongoing. Kofi has been doing this ever since he set foot in the university campus. So if I have this as a paragraph, you realize that I haven't given any main idea. All the sentences are at par in terms of their magnitude or strength. But they all work together to give one main idea. And what could that main idea be? Hello?
Hello, sir.
I'm sure you heard me. Come again?
Hello, sir.
Did you hear what I said? The question I asked?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I ask again. What main idea could the paragraph I gave provide?
Okay, sir, please, the main idea could be Kofi not being punctual for lecture sessions.
That could be one. But simply, Kofi is not a serious student. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But that is not stated. But all the sentences are pointing to that direction. Am I right? So that could be an implied paragraph. So in the implied paragraph, the topic sentence is not overt or explicitly stated. It needs to be inferred. So we have to make inference to get the main idea. And making inference is part of communication, right? So if I tell you, if you, for instance, you read a passage, a comprehension passage, then you read something like, the accused was called into the dock to be cross-examined by the prosecutor. And in the process, it was found that the accused had urinated in his pants. And I asked the question, how did or what happened to the accused when he was called into the dock? What answer would you get? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Karen said the accused was frightened because
was scared.
of the judgment.
Very good. That is a high level answer. You realize a lot of people would say the accused urinated in his pants, but that has already been explicitly stated. But if you can read between the lines, you would be able to tell that the accused became nervous or was frightened. That could have caused him to urinate in his pants. So that you were able to answer the question by making inference. And inference is very important. So it is not everything that is explicitly stated. However, the implied paragraph is not acceptable, is not advisable to use when you are writing anything formal. Academic writing is formal writing, so you avoid the implied paragraph. If you are writing a letter of application, it is formal. You avoid the implied paragraph. So the implied paragraph could be used in journalistic writing, it could be used in literary writing, and so on, not in any formal, or if you like, in quote, any serious form of writing. Similar to that is the suspended paragraph pattern, in which the main idea is delayed to the end. So in the suspended pattern, the paragraph may discuss a topic, may discuss an idea to its climax or concluding point. Then sharply, the main idea is introduced. So we say one idea is discussed to its climax or conclusion. The main idea is, however, delayed and appears in the conclusion. So similar to that is what you were usually asked to do by writing that ends with a specific statement. So the statement is suspended, right? Both the implied and suspended patterns or implied and suspended paragraphs are not advisable to use in formal writing. So what you can do here is to go find examples of such paragraphs. The direct paragraph, so easy to find. Pivoting paragraphs, definitely you find examples. And the emphatic paragraph. So in your exams, you make use of these three types of paragraphs: direct, pivoting, emphatic, if you are supposed to write any essay. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Sure. All right. So without any questions or comments, it's already 5:30. I don't know if we should end the class yet. Hello, Koshrap, are you here?
Yes, please, I'm here.
I believe we can end the class here.
Yes, please.
Okay. There is a paragraph I wanted you to look at. Let me see if I can see it. I'm unable to find it. I have to take my time. I have to take my time. We look for it. Okay. All right, so you let us end it here. I'll find that paragraph. I think in our next meeting we can look at it. Right. So that will be applying some of the things we have talked about today. Any questions or comments? All right, so we end it here. We meet next week. Course rep, when are we ending lectures? How many more weeks do we have?
It's only three sections.
Okay, 3 sessions.
So next week.
Next week and face to face, so it's 2.
It's
Yes.
2. It's not 3.
It's 2.
It is 2.
Yes, please.
Okay, that will be fine. And I am sure the custom officers and the guy at Ablikumakel are here. Is
Yes,
he
sir.
here?
Sir, we are here. Sir, I'm here,
Okay.
sir.
The military man, are you there? Hello?
Hi.
Is Foster the one at Ablikumakel?
No, sir. First time, brother, in Aflau.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
There is a guy at Ablikumakel who indicated he will be giving me some information.
Richard.
What is the name?
I think it's Richard. Because he's
Richard.
the only
Okay.
Emmanuel Baja, but he's not feeling too well today.
Okay. And what about the military officers?
They also had a program, so they are there. They are not closed yet.
Okay. And this is Aaron.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay. So Aaron, once you are giving me feedback, I'm sure you can remind them of my issue.
Yes, please.
All right. All right. Thank you and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy the weekend.
Vlad, I'll see you tomorrow.